I want to capture all the goodness so everyone can receive this and watch this over again in case you want to like not frantically jot down notes. So, we're here with Mari, who is a seasoned marketing strategist and fractional CMO with over a decade of experience. Mari is the founder of With Mari and the co-founder of Her Brand and Co., which was acquired in 2024. She's known for her ability to turn marketing overwhelm into clarity and for helping entrepreneurs build aligned, sustained businesses that actually feel good to run. So I'm so excited for this conversation today. She's guiding us through how to build a referral system that truly works and one that feels values aligned, repeatable, and designed to attract your dream clients without the awkward asks or burnout. I also love that this session is happening because there was a conversation, I want to say like 6 weeks or 2 months ago about this inside of Circle. And I know Mari chimed in there and then signed up to host this event. So I love that it originated from someone asking a question in Circle of, I really want to know how to do this better. And Mari saying, hey, I actually know a thing or two about this. Let's go ahead and have a session on it. So we're very lucky to have Mari here and share her wisdom with the Dreamers and Doers community. So let's go ahead and jump in. Mari, off to you.
Thank you, Taylor. And hi, everyone. I am so excited to be leading this session today. Taylor already, did a wonderful introduction, so I will not spend time on that because we only have like 54 minutes left and I have a lot to cover today. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll jump right in. Super excited to see all the things that you all are looking forward to in the summer. I'm going to be spending a couple of weeks in Lake Tahoe, so I'm excited about that. And if anyone is in Southern California, let me know because I love IRL. Love, love, love. Lisette, you and I are going to meet up soon. I know.
Yay!
So if you're down here, let me know because I would love to connect. Okay.
Amazing. And as Mari brings up her slides, I just want to say if anyone has questions throughout this session, feel free to drop them into the chat. I will keep my eyes and ears peeled, and we will do a Q&A officially at the end. But if there's things that pop up and we have a pocket of time, maybe it'll get answered during the session.
Yes, thanks, Taylor. Absolutely. Okay, and then I did DM all of you that had RSVP'd with the worksheet for today's class, but I will drop it into the chat as well so you can access it. This is a very, interactive session today. So we're going to actually be going through what would work for you when it comes to building a values aligned organic referral system. So if you access the worksheet link, you will have to make a copy. So you go file, make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit it. And this will live in your Google Drive, basically. So, all right, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. You're absolutely in the right place today if you've ever felt like referrals should be easier, but they aren't consistent or strategic as they could be, right? So today we are going to talk about how to create a referral system that actually feels aligned with how you do business and that doesn't rely on awkward asks or random luck or one-off bursts of energy that sometimes we have as founders, and then we start applying a strategy that's not necessarily consistent or systematized. Oh my gosh, somebody's dialing in from Lisbon. I lived in Porto for about 2 months. So hello, love, Portugal. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see. So this is why, and you may already know some of this from experience, but I just wanted to kind of nail down and nail in why this is so important, right? Why are referrals so important for your business, whether you're a product-based business or a service-based business? Referrals are usually your most underutilized growth channel. Okay, so let's see. They're the most powerful and cost-effective marketing channel we have. They come from trust. They convert faster. They cost you way less than other type of marketing strategies, right? But the problem is that most businesses don't have a system that really support this growth channel. So these are just some stats to kind of like, yes, we're here for a reason. We should be paying attention to this. It definitely makes a difference. And I can talk from experience too. I, like Taylor mentioned, marketing strategist and fractional CMO. And I would say 90% 90% of my new clients come from referrals. It's just clients that really enjoy working with me. I have a system in place that make referrals easy, that make referrals automated, that is part of their customer journey when they're working with me. And that is how they send people my way, right? So it can be optimized, optimized and systematized. All right. excited. Let's move on. I won't go into this. Taylor already did that. Thank you so much. Excited to be here. I will add one more thing. I also do annual entrepreneurship retreats in Italy. So I just came back from one of mine. So maybe we were around in Europe around the same time, Taylor, when you were in Greece. So I'll just, wanted to share that as well. And I, starting next year by request, I am also working with other founders that want to bring groups to Italy themselves. So that's super excited. Ooh, how do we sign up for Italy? I'll send a link. Amazing. But for now, save the dates. May 22nd is next year for entrepreneurship. And it's Lake Como. So I say Italy and then I say Lake Como and they're like, ooh, even better. So, great spot. Alrighty. So this is what we'll talk through today. We are going to be going over first, why do people refer, right? And it's super quick, but really what's the psychology behind the reason people refer? What it means to build a referral ready business. What are the two main models, in-person versus automated? Obviously, we want to run towards automated, but there's a way to create automated systems that are still personable. So I would want you to keep that in mind. How to design a simple values-aligned referral system, and real life sustainable ways to spark referrals. So I'll share examples. We'll go over kind of what to have in your back pocket to have systems that are actually working when it comes to making this work for you. And a clear first step and roadmap you can build on today. So you will leave today with a 5-step roadmap. You will fill in all the blanks. You will have it ready to kind of turn it into a system after our class today. Alrighty. So to build a referral system that works, we first have to understand, and I'm gonna close the chat because I have one screen. So I'm gonna close the chat. Taylor, just let me know.
I got you.
If it needs my attention. Okay, cool.
No worries.
So to build a referral system that works, we first have to understand why people refer and why they don't, right? So normally people refer to feel helpful themselves, right? So yes, it feels good to help you as the service provider or as the product, but they really ultimately are referring to feel helpful and to be of service to somebody that they know, and to show up as the hero, right? Because ultimately our customers are the hero of their own story and we are the guide. And if anybody has read, oh my gosh, I'm blanking, Storybrand by Donald Miller, that's where that comes from. So just remember, your customer is always the hero of their story and you're just a guide. So they don't do it to help you, they do it to help someone else and to feel helpful. So their friend, their colleague, their community, depending on what it is that you offer and how they can show up for that particular person in their life, which means your brand, whether it's again, a service or product, it has to make them look good, look smart, look credible, and look like they care, okay? And ultimately, the referrals or all referrals are in the intersection of trust, identity, and timing, right? They trust your work. So trust has to already be established between you and that customer or client. The moment has to be right, the timing has to be right. Why would they ever say, oh, you need to talk to Mari, or you need to talk to Kelly, or you definitely need, Eloise's products? Why, right? Is the right moment for them to make that referral or that connection. And they need to be able to clearly explain what it is that you do. It needs to be easy for them, right? Have you ever had a customer kind of be like, oh, I'm not really sure how to explain what it is that you do, or can you send me a blurb? So if we are more proactive on having these steps ready for them and lowering those barriers, we're going to be able to create more of those referrals. And if you're missing either one of these three, trust, identity, or timing, the referral doesn't happen likely, right? Not because they don't like you, not because, they don't believe in your product or service, but it could be that the moment passed, or they didn't find the right words, or they weren't really sure about how to communicate what it is that you do. So that's why clarity, consistency, they matter so much. Okay. If your message is fuzzy or your presence is inconsistent, people will forget. And I say this all the time when I work with marketing with my clients, consistency wins every single time. Every single time. Marketing works when consistency is there. So let's figure out how to be referral ready so that you can show up consistently and get those referrals. Okay, so what does that mean to get your business referral ready? We need to have a message that's easy to repeat, a client experience worth talking about, right? So this is where you showing up matters and how you show up matters. Clear signals and ask of who you serve and how, right? So this is that communication piece. Visibility in the right places at the right times. And we're going to talk about the right times later on when we're figuring out what your roadmap looks like. A next step that's easy to share. So how is it that you are suggesting that your customer, your current client or customer connects with this future opportunity in the system, right? Which is, I believe, why you're all here today. All right, let's keep going. So once your business is referral ready, and we're going to go through some of these pieces today. So if you're like, I don't know how many of these I have yet, we're going to check and we're going to work these through. So don't you worry, we'll do that in a second. But once your business is referral ready, there are two main ways that we can look at sparking referrals without feeling salesy, right? Sometimes it's hard to ask for help. I get it. I work with founders often that it's like, well, it just doesn't feel great to ask for a referral. That's okay. There are ways that we can build in this ask within your customer journey so that it doesn't feel salesy. Okay. So both of these are valid. Both of these are powerful. And both of these can be customized. So I want you to think about that. And I also want you to consider that these in-person relationship-driven way to do referrals can also be automated or systematized in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming as well. So the first model is in person and relationship driven. And this is for founders who love building trust face-to-face or one-on-one, right? So Taylor and I were talking about this before we started the class today. It's like, I love IRL. I love meeting founders in person, having that connection. It really makes a difference. So I make an effort to show up in person and to build those relationships in person because I know that those are going to go a really long way for me. So this can look like conversations, right? Personal conversations and collaborations. So can you work together to really kind of jumpstart and spark those referrals? This could look like live events, but it could also be voice notes, right? Like it doesn't have to be in like face-to-face. This could be voice notes. This could be one-on-one check-ins. I just went to a workshop last week on community and she's like, the facilitator, she's amazing. Her name is Ambel Claudio. She said, I send a voice note to every single person that follows me, engages with me, or connects with me. Every single person, right? That is how you build relationships. That's how you build connections. And that's how you create the space in someone's brain that will think of you in the future for specific reasons, related to your identity, right? Which we'll cover in a second. This also looks like partner referrals, community, connections, showing up consistently. That's where that consistency comes into play. So think coffee chats, co-working, voice notes, DM introductions. These are warm, organic moments where referrals naturally arise because you're present and you're connected. So that's one way. The other way is automated and systems driven. So this is ideal if you want referrals working in the background. You're building structure that nudges referrals forward without relying on touch points, okay? So that may include a referral follow-up email that goes out post-project. And I'll give you an example. I utilize both of these, so you don't have to be like one or two, but I think it's important that for today's class, you start thinking about what are you mostly driven to, what feels more natural, because that goes back to a system that's values aligned, right? So just start thinking about what you're drawn more to. To give you an example, I use both of these. Like I said, I do a lot of in-person events and connections and coffee chats and partnerships. but I also have it built into my system so that with my current clients, the ones that I'm working on right now, at a specific stage within my engagement with them, which is normally 4 months, at a specific stage of my engagement, they get an email request with the testimonial, a specific ask. Can they think of anybody that would be, a perfect client for me for the future? So I build it into the process in a way that makes sense. And I have carefully thought about when to introduce this. And we'll talk about the when a little bit later in the roadmap, so that it feels good to them to take the step. So I just want to say you could do both. It could also look like a testimonial request flow that includes, know someone who needs this type of prompt. It could be built into your nurture sequence and newsletters. It could be content, right? It could be content-based that tells your client how to refer without directly asking. Because here's the thing. One of my clients, she owns a brewery in LA, and she says this all the time, and I just want to give her credit. She says, people need an assignment. Sometimes people just need an assignment, and you need to be clear with what that assignment looks like. They may not think to refer you until you open up that opportunity and that door and make it easy for them to do that. Okay. Donald Millard from Building a Story Brand also says, a confused mind says no, right? So that's why clarity, identity, making sure that those steps are clear to the customer and the client are so critical in making this a friction-free process. Okay, so next we're going to jump into designing our referral roadmap. So we're going to go step by step. It's a 5-step roadmap, but I'll pause here real quick and ask Taylor if we have any questions in the chat or if there's anything that we should discuss before moving forward.
I have a quick question, but there's no one yet in the chat. I'm
Okay.
curious, when you send those audio notes, just because I'm like a sucker for a good tool, and I used to use something called Async, but they've recently shut down. Are you sending those like via like Voxer? Are you sending them in just message, like iMessage? Like, how are you sending those voice notes? Because I know people use all different tools.
Yeah, totally. So this was not me. This was the Imbal who I
Mhm.
went to the workshop, and she was
Right.
just talking specifically through Instagram, like just like a
Okay.
voice note
Got
through
it.
Instagram. Anytime she gets a connection or a follow, she was using Instagram. I have heard of Voxer as well. I haven't used it myself. I looked into it and it just didn't work
Yeah.
into my flow. For my clients, we use WhatsApp, but that's already in the client journey, not necessarily in the, awareness lead gen journey or phase of the journey. So yeah, she was referring specifically to Instagram. Does anybody in the room use another tool for voice messaging? Perhaps?
I've used something called Beep too, so I don't know if anyone else has
Oh,
used that. But it's great because it's really nice because it has a limit of 3 minutes. So you've got like this time to shine and then you're cut off. But there's a couple of downsides to it. One is that it's a bit difficult to then like respond to a beep without creating an account yourself. So they get you there. But anyways, yeah, we can share some more tools in the
cool.
chat if anyone has any.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
thanks for asking. Amazing. Okay, so I'll reshare the worksheet in case we had anyone hop in since I have. Christina just shared one. Amazing. Thank you. You can send voice notes on Dreamers and Doers. Amazing. I didn't even know that. I will start doing that. That's super cool. Alrighty, so share the worksheet. Let's go ahead and jump in and start building your referral roadmap with the first step. I did this if you're watching the replay, I did this so that you can scan it and get your worksheet. But I'm sure it'll be added into the description as well. And yeah, so that's available for you as well. All right,
Love that. So smart.
Step one. Okay, so first we got to choose your model, the one that we want to focus on right now. Like I said earlier, you can pick both, but let's choose one for the sake of today. And when you're thinking about it, you were thinking about relationship driven versus automated, right? So again, as a recap, relationship driven we're looking at someone who thrives in one-on-one relationships, has a service-based business. The person model may feel more natural for you and more aligned. And this is where referrals happen through connection, whether that's a voice note, a coffee chat, or a partner you love working with. So keeping that in mind. If you are short on time or you want referrals working while you sleep and you're thinking more of like, okay, well, how can I automate this in a way that it's working for me and not the other way around? You may want to look at the automated model, right? So this could be a follow-up flow after someone buys your product. This could be a subtle, who do you know, line built in your content or nurture emails. This could be a workflow that is built within your client journey at a specific point. And like I said before, remember that the relationship-driven model that's more personable can also be automated to an extent, right? So just keeping that in mind. Okay, so here are some examples. I'll go through these quickly. So let's say you just wrapped up a project and the client is thrilled and you sent a quick 45-second voice note on Instagram or Voxer or Beep, or the other one that we just shared in the chat. And, I'm putting some examples here for your reference later. Like Taylor said, you'll have access to the replay, so you can come back and look at this, but hopefully this can give you some guidance of a way that you can show up in a way that is not super salesy. But, no pressure at all. Just wanted to thank you and keep the momentum going. Can you think of anyone? It is super important that even when we are doing these like soft asks, there's still an ask, right? So there opens the door for, yes, I do, or actually no right now. And that's okay. I've gotten both answers, by the way, not right now, but check back. Absolutely. Totally fine. But now it's in the back of their brain and we can continue to nurture that idea of referral through our automated systems. All right, so some other examples for the relationship model. Let's say a past client you loved working with hasn't heard from you in a while. So maybe you send them a check-in email or a DM, hi client, I was just thinking of you, wanted to check in, hope business is feeling strong. Insert a personal note here. Last time we chatted, you were blah, blah, blah. Would love to, see how that's going and get an update. I wanted to update you on a couple of things on my end. This is what's happening. Would love to find a time to catch up, building blah, blah. Does anyone come to mind? Right. So again, this is an opportunity to position your past client as a way to show up as a hero and as help someone else by connecting you to them. So giving them the tools that they need in order to be able to do that will help you be successful in this process. Partner referral. So maybe you have a peer in a complementary industry and you can offer a casual partnership swap, right? Hey, I have a fun idea. I've been referring people your way, clients your way. I love your work. And I feel like we have a very complementary business and complementary services. Given our shared audiences, I was wondering if you would want to chat about a way that we can support each other more formally or in a way that feels more sustainable, right? So this is another way that you can build partnerships and create this referral back and forth. It doesn't always have to be, this is something that I see a lot with founders too. It doesn't always have to be an affiliate type referral. It doesn't always have to give me a kickback, right? Sometimes that's not what the partner is looking for. What the partner is looking for more that would be of value to them is to show up to their clients as a resource that they trust, is to show up to the clients in a way that they can add value, right? So you offering like a kickback is not necessarily what's going to create that drive for me for the partnership. So I would just encourage you to be open to a partnership that is more value driven rather than financial outcome driven, if that makes sense. Okay. Now let's look at some automated examples. So a client just wrapped up their work with you and receives a final wrap up or next steps, right? So this is where you can include a referral prompt inside your automated thank you feedback request. You could also request a testimonial as well at this stage. So there's different ways that you can beef up this automated model to serve different strategies. So thank you again for trusting me with this project. I love supporting you. if you know another founder who's navigating similar challenges and could use this kind of support, feel free to pass along my info or this link, right? So the idea here is that you're providing them with a link as well so that they can create that connection. And again, there's an assignment, right? Send them this link, and then the assignment to that person is they're going to schedule a call with you if the timing is right, right? Because that timing piece has to be critical and has to be present. So I always like to add this to, I prioritize referrals and would love to help them. I have 2, marketing sprints left for Q4, and would love to work with someone like you. Can you think of anyone? All right, let's go through a couple other examples and then we'll pause. So this can be an email nurture sequence. So within your email nurture sequence, you can have a soft CTA. So someone's in your email, it's in your email list and is receiving weekly or monthly content. You can always add a referral prompt at the bottom of a high value email in the sequence, right? So why do I specifically say of a high value email in the sequence is, in theory, when you're working on your email marketing strategy, you should be looking at both value-driven and promotion-driven emails, right? So we shouldn't always be selling, but we shouldn't always only be giving things away or value away. But if we're already asking them for a sale or a promotion, we don't want to get a secondary ask for a referral. So that's why I made a note here to specifically on the value emails to include this type of CTA at the bottom. And this could be a staple CTA, right? It could be something that's, again, consistent and that you can build into your process. Was this helpful? If a friend or peer comes to mind, feel free to forward this their way, or you can send them here to learn more. Okay. Some options here. Okay, adding a client highlight on social media would be another type of, a way to share a client testimonial or a win. And then you turn the post into a quiet invitation to refer other. Why? Because likely when you're spotlighting someone else, you could do, I am blanking, collaborate. You could do a collaboration post. They are more likely to share it. They're more likely to now get eyeballs on your post, or you're likely to get more eyeballs on your post through their audiences. So another way to be more subtle in a way to get in front of other people, that could be your audience as well. Okay, so step 1, which model feels most natural to you right now, feels more accessible to you right now based on the process of actually doing the thing, right? Taking the steps to put something like this together that would support you and your business. I'd love to see it in the chat. And then we can go through. I saw some chats come through. I think just a question. Let's see. Christina said, when I surveyed people, it was 50-50 on whether people cared or would be motivated by a percentage. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I think it also depends on the partnerships and the customers and who you're talking to. So I think that's great. Love customer discovery. Well done. Bonnie, what suggestions do you have for automations around a more ongoing client relationship? Bonnie, do you use a CRM, a customer relationship management tool or platform? I think that would be helpful to know. What I do for my ongoing client relationships is I have 2 main steps where I introduce the concept of referral and offer the opportunity for them to refer. And that is, and we're going to go over this in a second, but I know that when I work with someone for 4 months, right around month 3, like the beginning of month 3, that is when it's like we are rolling. We're seeing results. They're very excited about what we're doing together. We're getting traction. It's like our relationship is like super, super strong right around the beginning of month 3, end of month 2. So I have it set up so that there's a questionnaire that basically checks in with them and says, hey, I want to get some feedback, as we're going into our last month together to make sure that we're on track. What has been working? What has not been working? How can I show up better? How can I make sure that we finish strong? Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be opening, and this is a questionnaire. I use Dubsado. This is a questionnaire that I send automatically through a workflow. I have follow-ups that if they don't fill it out, they get reminded for, there's like an automated thank you once they do fill out the questionnaire. And with it, I ask, can you think of anyone that fits ABC, this mold, that would be interested in working with me in the future? Yes, no, I can't think of anyone right now. And then I say, if yes, would you be willing to make a direct introduction? Would you like me to send you a blurb? Or how can I best show up for you so that you can best show up for them, right? And some people say, send me a blurb. Some people say, I'll make the intro. And it opens up the door for you to follow up and say, hey, you mentioned you were thinking about someone and you would making the intro. Excited to connect. Here's a quick link. You're welcome to send them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Depending on your business model and what works, you can really figure that piece out. And then I have another one coming out at the end of our work together of like a wrap up, right? So this is also as a way to wrap up the project, highlight what the work that we did together, get some more feedback, another testimonial, and then position the referral opportunity again. Okay, hopefully that answered your question. And we'll go over that a little bit more down when it comes to customer journey. Okay. Relationship, in-person relationships, relationship. Okay, we're here and we're part of a community. So I am not surprised. That relationship is a big one. Mostly asking about timing. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, so it depends on your customer journey. For me, it's at month 3, end of month 2, beginning of month 3, and then at the end of the project. Relationship driven, but I love a good automation. Absolutely. Relationship. Okay, awesome. All right. So regardless of whether you want to go more relationship based or you want to do automations or automate your relationships, which can be to an extent, we need to figure out what your core message is so that your business is easy to refer. And you may already have this, right? Like this is going back to branding 101, but it's going back to that reference point so that you can be ready for the referrals. So how can you make sure you and your businesses are easy to talk about? Whether you sell a product or a service, your message needs to be repeatable, right? So that's really how the referrals happen. And it needs to be easy for your current client or past client or customer to say, you know who you should talk to? You should talk to Kelly because blah, blah, blah. She can help you do X, Y, and Z. And we can do that in a quick kind of like fill in the blank. If you don't have this yet, totally okay. And so I put them here for you so you can reference them later. They're also in your worksheet. So for service-based businesses, I help. Who do you help? Super critical so that you can attract the right customer with problem or goal, solve this or achieve this so they can transformation or result, right? Like really transformation focused so they can grow their business with clarity. So they can enjoy a home well lived. Like I'm thinking about a product. This is a product, not a service of a client that I work with. So for product base, we make type of product for, again, who's the client, who want the key benefit or lifestyle outcome that they're looking for. Okay. So making sure that you have this piece in the back pocket, always ironed out. If anybody's asking you for a blurb, normally when my client roster is usually under 8, because I have a very high touch service, I am able to craft the blurb specifically to say, Mari helped me do this, and she can help you do X, right? Because I'm able to do that. It's more relationship focused in that way that I can tailor it more intentionally. Do y'all feel like you have a message, a way, a structure that you can use that can make your business easy to talk about? Or is this helpful? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so here are some examples we can cover quickly. So for service-based businesses, example, I help growth stage female founders build simple, effective marketing systems so they can scale with clarity. Hey, that's me. Or I design elevated websites for service-based businesses who are ready to attract high-quality clients, right? I help women break free from burnout and rebuild their relationship with work and life. Like, what is this one statement? Like, I know we have like our pitch and our 30 seconds and everything, but what is like literally the one sentence that you can share so that it makes it easy for people to talk about your business? For product-based business, here are some examples. We make plant-based skincare for women over 40 who are tired of miracle products that don't work. Or I design artisan home goods for thoughtful buyers who want their space to feel intentional and inspired, etc. Right? So there's different. Sierra, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Sierra is saying that she has a custom GPT for this if anyone wants it or interested. Okay. So how do you want people to describe what you offer when you're not in the room? So this is step 2, and it's part of step 2 in your worksheet as well. So you can jot down some notes, and Sierra has it here. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. If you need help with your one-liner. I'm just checking the worksheet right here. Yeah, step 2, craft your core message. Sweet. Okay. Kelly, it's right above your chat, your message. Okay. All right. So step 3, timing is everything, right? It needs to be naturally aligned for the referral to actually happen. So we want to be able, this is what I was chatting about earlier, we want to be able to identify the moments where our referral can happen naturally without it feeling like an ask, without breaking the flow, or with your client questioning, why is she asking me for a referral right now? It needs to make sense, right? Which is why high points of their customer journey are very important, especially if you're a service-based business. All right, so spotting the best moments. We need to look for natural high points in your customer journey, times when clients feel grateful, seen, or successful, and spaces where you're already showing up, right? So these are content, event emails, if you're looking for that automated way to do things. So think about times when someone is most likely to feel confident, excited, grateful about your work. And you'll probably have these moments, right? Like just think about your customer journey, and you're likely going to be able to start identifying some connection along the way. So a few examples would be, you know, a client sends you a glowing message or testimonial. Amazing. Can you think of anyone? Right? Always end it. Can you think of anyone? When a customer places their second or third order, you clearly love our products. You know, this is when you can have, I'm actually just launching a loyalty program with a product-based business that has great customer lifetime value. So now it's like, okay, how can we increase that customer lifetime value, but then also promote referrals within that loyalty program? During a live event, retreat, or even a webinar when energy is high, right? In your thank you emails or end of project wrap-ups, you can do that as well. When you feature a client on social and they reshare it, it's a perfect moment to follow up or tag someone new. So the goal here is not to chase referrals, right? It's to really recognize where the energy already exists and to quietly open the door, right? It should feel effortless, even though there is intentionality behind the timing. Okay, so step 3, where in your current customer journey could a referral moment fit without it feeling forced? And that's in your worksheet. So go ahead and put it in. Okay, and we're gonna keep running because we have 2 more steps and Q&A. Okay, all right, so how to systematize your referrals? You've picked your model, you have either crafted your message or you're on your way with Sarah's custom GPT, and you've spotted your referral moments. Now we need to make it easy for people to refer you when that moment hits. So that means giving them a tool or touch point that feels effortless to use. And think about this as like a 2-part system, right? Like, yes, you want to systematize it on your end to make it easy for you as well, but ultimately we need to make it easier for the client or customer so that we are removing the barrier or friction for them to actually make that referral. So for in-person or relationship-driven referrals, which was what most of you said you were interested in doing, This could be a simple one-liner that they can say on your behalf, right? So have a blurb ready. This can be a calendar link that's easy to forward. I do this when I'm closing out a project or when I'm about to open up enrollment for my next client roster. I'm taking 3 new clients in Q4. If you can think of anyone, feel free to forward them this link to book a strategy call with me. No strings attached. A message or blurb you've pre-written for them to copy paste, or even a safe story highlight that can have that, like, who I help messaging, how to work with me messaging, so that they can then take the initiative to forward that to somebody that they think of. Now, if you're looking at the more automated touchpoint avenue or roadmap, this can look like a post-project thank you email with a gentle who else could benefit from this, right? Call to action. A Flowdesk or Klaviyo automation that follows up with loyal customers. So depending on how many times they've purchased, when was the last time they purchased, what customer behavior is and how they are segmented, you can open up the door for that, or start a loyalty program if you're a product-based business that encourages referrals. A form in your customer relationship management or even Airtable where people can send referrals your way. Also, I have noticed people do not like to give you other people's information, right? So like they're very much not likely to say, oh yeah, here's my friend, here's their email, here's their phone number. They're not going to do that. But they are likely to share some information with them that they feel would be valuable. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so really this step about systematizing your referrals is about building a bridge that says of them thinking, yes, I would love to refer Mari, to here's how I refer Mari, right? So they're like, you're building that bridge for them so they can make that, take that action and create that referral. Okay, so what is one tool or touch point you already have or you could add this month that supports referrals in a clear human way? So whether it's through your email marketing or whether it's through your CRM or whether it's through, how you're showing up on social, what is something that you could introduce rather quickly, hopefully this month, even today, to support your referrals? Okay. All right, so that's in your worksheet. We'll move on to step 5. Which is tracking what's working. So you can do more of it, right? So anything that we do in marketing, and I, work on this with clients all the time, we need to be able to measure. And we need to be able to measure for multiple things. Because marketing is iterative. Is that how you say that word? We're going to go with yes. Great. Thank you. So we need to build on from what we learn and what we know of what's working and not working. It's very unusual for a marketing strategy to need to be thrown away completely. Normally, we need to iterate. Well, first of all, we need to audit, understand what's working, what's not working, and then iterate. So change one thing, audit again. Change another thing, audit again, right? So similarly to referrals, if you treat referrals like a marketing strategy, we need to track what's working to figure out how we can do more of what's working and how to make small pivots for the things that are not. So we can start simple in a way that we can start getting some information on what's working, what's not working. So adding a how did you hear about me question in your intake form or checkout gives you data that you can then track. Creating a column in your CRM or Airtable that tags referrals, even if it's manually, right? Like you can start simple. This can be a manual process to begin with while you're getting that data. You can save different customer testimonials, different customer snippets in a particular folder so that you can reference them more quickly. And once a month, you can spend 5 minutes reviewing where your leads came from. Really is a great opportunity here if you're using any type of email marketing to utilize your segments to tag your customers. right? So sometimes we forget about utilizing our segments for data information, and we think that the segments need to be used only for communication purposes and making sure that we're communicating with all our different segments and whatnot. But it's a great opportunity to, if you have an opt-in, for example, are you segmenting that opt-in appropriately so that you know, oh, this was a referral that was sent through Dreamers and Doers and it performed really, really well, versus, oh, this was an opt-in that was sent via, Instagram and it did not perform. So how can I do more of the Dreamers and Doers type referrals, opt-ins, relationship building, because I know those things are working based on what my segments are telling me. So that's something to consider. So here's some things to look for while you're gathering that data. Who refers you and how often? Which referral sources convert the best, like I mentioned earlier? And where do your best fit clients come from? This is also really important because this will help you pre-qualify your leads in the future so that you're not wasting time with referrals that are not a good fit. Okay. Okay, and I think I have one question, one quick bonus, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So my question to you for step 5 is, what is a simple way that you could start tracking referrals this week, even if it's manual? And this is in your worksheet as well. And then my bonus step is to treat your sources, right? A small treat goes a really long way. I really love this platform. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's called Loop and Tie. But you can basically send a gift to somebody that's a referral source for you. And you can set it up as like a $25 gift, a $50 gift, and then they get to choose their gift. So it's like a collection of items, and it's like home and travel and wellness. There's tons that they can choose from. And all you need is their email. So it's like, you don't need their address, you don't need information. All you need is their email, and you can send them a sweet treat to say, hey, thank you so much for thinking of me. The client that you sent over was absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to work with them. And it's a small something. Okay, so bringing it all together, you're choosing your model. Is it in person or automated? You're crafting a repeatable message. You're identifying 1 to 2 key referral moments within your customer journey. You're going to add 1 tool or touch point within that moment, and we're going to have to track it, right? So then we can decide how to do more of what's working and how to iterate what is not. So for a quick integration tip, this class just keeps going. I have more content for y'all. Okay. A quick, simple integration to keep simple and consistent is to build a rhythm, right? So once you figure out what is the moment that you're going to focus on, use the roadmap to add 1 habit or automation within that moment that you've identified. Save your referral message so that you can reuse it, right? So you don't have to like rewrite it or work on it with ChatGPT every time. And schedule a monthly 10-minute check-in to review where the referrals came from so you can continue to iterate. So consistency here really is key. Final tips. Do make it easy to talk about you. Do embed referral moments into what you already do. Do track and celebrate, because it's super cool when somebody refers to you. It is, like I said, one of the most underutilized marketing strategies there is. And it's honestly, in my opinion, the strongest for multiple reasons. Do not make vague asks, right? Like, don't give people an assignment, make it clear. Don't over incentivize. Like, this is really about adding value, not necessarily about over incentivizing. And don't rely on memory, right? This is why it's your job as a founder to stay top of mind. It's your job as a founder to be consistent. It's your job as a founder to give your clients and past clients the tools that they need in order to create these connections that are going to be so valuable for you and your business in the long run. And just a quick reminder that I like to say all the time, momentum is built in the doing, right? So this is where consistency comes in. And ain't nothing but to do it at this point. You know, you have a great service or product that deserves to be referred. Now, the question is how and what are you going to do in the next, week or so to create the system more manageable and sustainable for you. So hopefully you've learned some tips you can apply immediately. and start building this values aligned system that works for you and not the other way around. If you want a little extra personalized guidance and you'd like to submit your worksheet, you can grab it here. So I'll put that in the chat as well for you all. Basically, it's just an opportunity for you to submit your worksheet. I'll create a Loom video giving you some feedback, intentional next steps tailored to the worksheet that you have completed, and then hopefully give you some more information on what is the best next step that you can take in order to start creating this referral system. Okay, 5 minutes.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Mari. That was so rich. I would love for everyone to just take a moment to put in the chat some like sparkle, confetti, some thank yous, something you learned. This was so rich with ideas. I jotted down a ton of notes and I can only imagine how everyone else felt. So yeah, would love to just, yeah, love seeing the things coming in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Well, we will take just a couple of moments to answer any questions. Mario, I'll give you a chance to just read everything that's happening in the chat and to go back if there was anything that you missed. I'm going to drop a couple links in the chat now in case anyone does need to hop in the next moment or so. I have a link here for how to say hi to Mari inside of the Dreamers and Doers community, inside of Circle. I also have a link for our next events. We have Hannah, who will be talking about money freedom coming up in either a week or two. And our next Speed Connections event is coming up at the beginning of July. And then you can always say hi to me to go ahead and book a group call to make the most of your membership, all that good stuff. And then we have a feedback form here. So please, if you had a great time with Mari here today, please submit some feedback. It would be so amazing to shower that or shower her with even more confetti after this in an email with some of that anonymous feedback. So and if you're interested in hosting your own D&D event based on seeing what Mari did here today, we are already booking through October, which is crazy, but also like the best thing ever that people want to share their knowledge and wisdom with this community. So definitely drop a little note about what you would like to share. So, okay, back to you. Does anyone have a question that they'd like to ask Mari in the last 3 or 4 minutes here?
Yeah, thank you so much for
Please
all
feel
the
free
love
to
in
just.
the chat. Yeah, no, come off
I know
mute.
it's like the sweetest thing
Mhm.
ever, right?
No, this is amazing. Yeah, Evan said a big takeaway is that I need to get my systems automations in order. Totally get it. Yeah, because it adds yet another step to your client journey and process that needs to be manual. So anything that you can do to automate it, yes, totally worth the time.
Like this is a great actually motivation to do that because you're like, oh, I need to get the systems, and it's like ops, it's efficiency, but then it's like, no, it's sales because the referrals are the most important piece of sales. So the way that all weaves together.
Lovely. Thanks for sharing. That's great. Amazing. Well, I can't wait to audit any of your worksheets and give you some personalized feedback. I know that it was a short class and we got through so much content today, but that way I'll be able to share a little bit more with you based on your business and based on your processes, and hopefully pinpoint some low-hanging fruit that you can start driving for your automations. Is there a timeline for sending in the forms for feedback? I would say it's first come, first serve. So just send it over and I'll get it back to you. There's no deadline. But don't forget. So if you say there's no deadline, then you will forget. I will send you a reminder though, for sure. Amazing. Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hosting, Mari. And I also want to just put out there, if anyone has any lingering questions, I even know that there are some people in the room who also were a part of that original thread and had their own ideas regarding referrals and things like that. Always feel free to post something in the Ask channel inside of Circle if you still have lingering questions about this, whether it's Mari or someone else that was here or someone who wasn't here. So many people are thinking about referrals. Like, this is just such a rich topic in the community. Drop an ask and I'll go ahead and have your back and tag some folks that have either mentioned that that's their jam in the past, things like that. Or if you have anything like how Ciara dropped in something that was super interesting in the chat with that custom GBT that you want to offer to the community, please know that you can always post those types of things in the community for more people to benefit from. So thank you so much. I will see you all soon, adding some amazing sunny vibes your way from New York. And happy Wednesday, happy June, and happy summer. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, crew.
Hey, everyone.
Bye.